Hello and thanks for tuning in again. After I've lost 1 kilogram last week because I was more strict and more stern with my regiment, I also got my daily allowance reduced to 43 points, which is maybe considered by some a minus, but it is a measure of success that you have less calories that you will need in your daily intake. I also was very strict and rigid this week, and if that will be leading into a success, you will find out at the end of a video. And for now, I just say, as always, thank you for watching. As you know by now, I'm doing Weight Watchers, and I'm currently having 43 points per day. I also have a weekly allowance of 28 points, from where I can take points if needed, but also can save up to 4 points per day and put it in there, as well as earn points from physical activities like walking. My personal goal is it to end the week with the 28 points intact. With that being said, let's get started. By now you know the drill, so this week I will only call out things that I think are worth mentioning or are new. Like using this crispy bread for breakfast, where 5 slices only come at 3 points. As I keep using low-calorie cold cuts and replaced butter with skyr, which comes at 0 points, this whole dish is just 5 points. And then for lunch I made myself one of my comfort foods and favorites from when I was young, which is Milchnudeln, or in English, pasta with milk. You just cook up your favorite noodles, drain them, then in the same pot fill them up with milk, slowly heat it up, and sweeten it to your taste. Of course I was using almond milk again and stevia, so that one helping comes at 6 points, and I had over the day 3 of them, so 18 points. In the evening I had a salad, but this time I used 3 instead of 2 tablespoons of oil, where the original recipe asks for 6. 2 spoons somehow are okay, but with a third it really raises the taste. So 12 points for the oil and 2 points for the herb mix I put in there. And in the evening I had some bread chips as a snack. On Monday I introduced 2 other different kinds of bread to my breakfast. A soft high protein bread, where 1 slice comes at 2 points, which is still less than normal bread with 3 to 4 points. And classic whole wheat crisp bread, where 1 slice is 1 point. So today my breakfast comes in at 9 points. The rest of the day is basically a repeat of a previous day, because for lunch I had the remaining 2 helpings of Milchnudeln, 12 points, in the evening 14 points worth of salad, and then again bread chips that came in at 9 points. Oh, let me interject here with a quick call out, because I haven't played computer games in over 10 years, I would say. I bought a PlayStation 4 when it was new, and I only tried to play a game for a few hours there, and then I stopped again. I don't even know why I stopped playing games. I guess it just took too much time away from me. And recently I started again, mainly due to the fact that The Last of Us was the TV show that I quite enjoyed recently. So I was just getting back into it a few weeks ago. And in the beginning I was quite harmless in just going for an hour or 2 per day, here and there, not every day. Mostly because it gave me a little bit of a motion sickness in the beginning, because I wasn't used anymore to just run, and the camera movements that I also had to conduct there. So I was getting back into it. I finished that game. And why I'm telling you that is, I also mentioned a while ago that when I'm on PTO, I turn into some kind of a night owl. So I noticed once I was into playing that Uncharted Part 2, that when I was close to the finish, it was already 7 a.m. in the morning. So I guess that is a pretty good reason why I stopped back then playing games that much, because I really need to be more disciplined. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my vacation time, so I didn't bother that much to just throttle myself there. So I was enjoying it, and I also wanted to do an experiment then. So that was on Monday to Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, basically, I noticed that it is already that early, and it wouldn't make sense to go to bed because the days would then just be shifted in a weird way, so that I would just keep waking up in the afternoon or something. So I thought maybe just stay awake for that day, try to stay awake as long as possible, and then the next day you might get back into a normal rhythm. So that was the idea. I tried to do that. So I basically kept the day going as usual, but in the afternoon I really started to get quite tired. So tired that I even headed out for a walk, hoping that that would help me, but I was by then just walking around like a zombie, I would say. I could feel how slow I was walking, like in slow motion, and I was out there for 1.5 hours, I noticed, when I was back, and barely made 5,000 steps, so you can do the math there. But then at 9 p.m. I just gave in and thought, okay, that's it, I cannot stay awake any longer. And I went to bed. I put up my alarm clock at 7 a.m. So I was thinking, okay, it's 10 hours, but I cannot get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, that's way too early. And also, I guess maybe I needed a little bit of sleep more than usual, so 10 hours should be fine. I also put an alarm in for 9 to be on the safe side, so in case at 7 I'm still not awake. But still, when I got up, it was 11:30. So I was sleeping a little bit over 14 hours. So I would say that experiment was a bust, because the day before I didn't have much from the day. I felt like the Walking Dead, and the next day I spent so much time extra in bed sleeping it off, that it really didn't make up for the time I hope it would save me. So next time I should just try to go to bed even in the early morning, and maybe just try to sleep a little bit shorter than usual and try to get back into normal rhythm that way. It doesn't work for me, at least not at my age anymore, to try it that way. So another lesson learned. Fortunately, it is my PTO, so I can afford to try stuff like that again. It also is not something I am sad about, that I'm catching up a little bit with gaming here and there. I just need to pace myself and be more strict with myself, like I am with my diets. So I'm happy that this is now working quite well. I'm totally strict in calculating everything correctly and making sure that I'm not missing a single point here and there. So let's see how that all works out. So that's just a quick catch up for you in between. So on this experimental Tuesday, I still ate as normal as possible, with here having 7 points for breakfast. For lunch I ordered in Chinese and even put the rice on the scales to make sure that I calculate everything correctly, and I estimated this dish, where the main ingredient was very lean beef, including a fortune cookie, at 20 points. To reach the minimum order value, I also ordered a cucumber salad with chili oil, which I ate in the evening, for which I estimated 4 points for the oil. And I can tell you that this salad was something that I will never order again, because it was just not my taste. As I knew by then that I wouldn't make it that much longer, and I still had to spend a lot of points, I invested them into something to snack on, so I took a bag of these snacks for 13 points. On Wednesday my breakfast was 9 points again. For lunch I had Pichelsteiner Topf, which you know only has 4 points, but I also threw in one of the 1-point sausages sliced down, so 5 points. And in the evening I had a so-called pinza, which is some kind of a pizza but with sourdough. It comes with 22 points and was okay, so I might not have it again because it was nothing to write home about, and for 22 points I want to have something I love. To use up the remaining points, it was bread chips again to have while watching TV in the evening. On Thursday it was breakfast, and this time it was 10 points because I was allowing myself a little bit more. And then I headed out for a walk. Hi there. Today is finally the day where I could head out without needing a jacket, because spring finally really arrived. And also it's the first day this week where it didn't rain permanently, or at least where I noticed that there is a gap and I could just use that gap. So I headed out without a jacket because I don't need that anymore due to the weather temperatures. It might still rain today, but just in case I brought an umbrella, so I am prepared. Of course, on that walk, I came across a fox again, and I saw it when I passed by sleeping in the grass, which happened to be directly in my path. As I didn't want to disturb him, I took a different route and I was planning to film him just when I was peeking around the corner. But when I arrived, he wasn't there anymore, but was then looking at me from afar as if to say, "Friend, nice try, but next time try better." Back home I had some chicken nuggets again, from a brand that I usually enjoy, but for some reasons the smaller packages they just introduced did not taste exactly the same as the nuggets in the big pack, which completely baffled me. I had it with my usual curry sauce, and here, by the way, I noticed is something that in the past I might have miscalculated. I always thought I would use up around 25 or 30 gram, which came down to 3 or 4 points. But when I actually checked how much it was, it came down to 50 milliliter and 6 points. So 22 points for this slightly disappointing meal. In the evening I had a can of stew with green beans, in which I also threw 2 of the 1-point sausages, which unfortunately if I use up 2 comes in with 3 points overall. But still it is quite harmless compared with regular sausages. As snacks in between I had a mandarin, and also I was using up the rest of a skyr that I have been using over the past few days as a butter replacement, so it doesn't go bad, and pimped it up with a banana and a little bit of stevia. So 0 points for this. On Friday I also used another variety of crisp bread, and this one came with sesame seeds, and it is quite delicious. 9 points for this breakfast. For lunch then, comfort food, which is ravioli, 1 can that comes with 20 points. And in the evening I opted to have some bread again with cold cuts. And as I choose to use the corn-based variety again, where 6 slices only cost me 3 points, this whole dish was just 3 points. And for the remaining 11 points in the evening, I had a third of this giant bag of pommels, which are a little bit more leaner but delicious snacks. Good morning. It is Saturday and I think I'm kinda back in a normal sleep cycle, so I woke up today at 9 and now it's 10 and it's comparatively early for me, and I'm on my way to pick up a parcel from a nearby shop because I made the mistake to order something with DHL and try to get it delivered to my home. Usually I just choose the nearby shop where I can let it be delivered to. For some reasons, this order wasn't able to be delivered there. I couldn't choose that, so I chose to let it be delivered to my home address. Of course, the live tracking yesterday told me it's on my way. Then the live tracking went away and it says you cannot access live tracking, which usually means that they will not deliver it. It's just a hidden message, I guess. And then I got the info that I have to pick it up in a shop. And not the shop that I usually use that is nearby, like 50 meters from my home. Not the one that is like 500 meters from my home, but somewhere completely different. And I was thinking, what would happen if I am someone who is not able to go there? Because I would be old or injured or whatever. And today, to add insult to injury, I don't even have to imagine, because since yesterday my arm hurts a little bit, quite a little bit. I think it's a tendonitis in the shoulder or the arm or something in the upper arm. It feels like someone has punched me there, and every time I try to lift it, I have to do it with the help of my other arm. It's something I had before, but not that seriously like today. Oh, and I forgot to mention that, of course, the reason why my arm even is an issue in this whole matter is the fact that the package is a little bit heavier, and I could not even carry it without getting some kind of a device with me to carry it. So that is why I'm doubly pissed today. So that's my update. I hope, because it's a little bit windy, you could understand everything. If not, sorry about that. Because of that, I was skipping breakfast and had my lunch a little bit earlier, for which I had a can of Texas stew, which comes in at 9 points. And since some lightly salted Dorito dippers go well with it, I was allowing me 6 points worth of them, so 15 points for this meal.
And in the evening then I had a stir fry with some spätzle in it. And I also had the last remaining 2 sausages, which were just 3 points combined. So this dish is also 15 points. And then later on, to have some snacks, I was having the second third of the pommels that I had the day before, 11 points. This means that I ended the week with 34 points in my weekly allowance, which is 6 points more than I started with. So I hope that will show tomorrow when I step on the scales.
It's Sunday, and of course that means it's weighing day. But before we go there, let me just give you a quick update on my arm, which made a little bit of a trouble for me lately. So I'm not sure yet if it is just a very bad sore muscle, because it is now today better than the days before, or if it is something different that is due to my joints having an issue. I will need to figure out. I think it is just sore muscle, maybe just for the stupidest reason, because last week I was filming a squirrel for 10 minutes and I had to keep my umbrella and my tripod under my arm, and I just pinched it down. So maybe because I haven't used that kind of muscle to just hold some stuff under my arm that often, so maybe that is why I have a sore muscle. Maybe I pinched a nerve, I don't know. It seems to getting better though. Today I can really raise my arm again, which yesterday would not have been possible without pain and tears in my eyes. But it seems to be going on well. So that is happening, and I will be able to give you another update next week to make sure that I catch you up on what actually is the outcome. Because if it is not getting better, then I will go to a doctor on Tuesday or something. Okay, let's get to my weight loss. So I was keeping it, like I said, straight and narrow this week as well. I was quite stern, and it was a success again because I lost another kilogram, which is like 2.2 pounds if you are not in the metric system. So I am only 100 grams shy of losing my first 15 kilo overall, which is 15 of 35. It is not even halfway there, but it is another milestone that is very, very close to me and very near to touch. So that is going well. I was walking this week on a mediocre level because the weather wasn't as good as it looked like at the beginning of the week. As you can see now, it is not really sunny. I'm not wearing a jacket, but I have it with me because it is just 10 degrees. It's not really that warm, but I thought it is more comfortable to film this video just with my t-shirt and not having a big jacket over my body. Yeah, that is where I stand, and maybe I think about what I said a few weeks ago, that maybe I try to plan in some cheat days here and there because I need something to look forward to. Not sure if I will do that every 5 kilo, every month or whatever, but today I'm at least planning to have a little bit of a nicer meal, which might exceed my daily allowance, but which I plan to pay back over the week. So that should be fine. I guess I earned a little bit of a treat after this week and after losing a little bit here. And that's me for this week. I was quite successful. I hope you were successful as well in whatever you ventured out to do. The next week is my last week of PTO, so I will see what that will mean for me. Next week it's then back to office. But for the next video you will see it is still PTO for me. So I hope you switch in next week when the video drops. For now, I just say, as always, thank you for watching and wishing you all the best for the next week, and hope to see you then. Bye. If it is not getting better, then I will go to a doctor on Tuesday or something. Okay, let's get to my weight loss.